here we go with the rocking motion. So we're right at the beginning of the whole sequence again. Sinking into the right foot, the left foot comes out just to a comfortable place. Adjust your feet until it feels like this is where they like to be, not too turned out, not too straightforward. And here we go with the rocking motion. So back onto your heels, toes slightly up, slight flex through the middle. Heels, slow, toes slightly up, onto the balls of your feet, straightening with your knees a bit. One of the ways of helping with that sense of imbalance is to think of coming on, as you come onto the balls of your feet, focus first of all upon the straightening of your knees. And it will give you more of a sense of how the rising starts organizing you, so that you're not just kind of trying to lift up without a feel that your lower body, your feet and your legs are supporting you on that. So just as you come back, as you come forward towards the balls of your feet, feel the straightening of your legs as part of kind of a lifting of energy, and you'll find it's much more sustainable. We'll do 2 more. Up. And here we come with the last one. Your left foot comes up, toe comes up and in, and you come to your resting position. So the next one I'm going to do is bird flaps its wings, and I'll show it to you both front and sideways as we go along. So here we start with your hands doing that first gathering of an energy ball, and sink and release onto the balls of your feet. Gather, sink and release. There should be a little bit of a sense of opening in your lower back. And then here's the circle, around the back, over the top, 1. So you can see it really works with the wrists, 2. And as you come over, come in again to your starting place. Now I'm going to show you sideways. Sink and release. My heels slightly off the floor. Sink and release. And around the back of the circle, once, twice, and in. I think I did it 3 times the time before, one of those little teaching things. Sink and release. Sink and release. And then here we go. Around and around and in. And resting. Then our next movement is our first forward stepping platter. So sinking into your right foot, turning on the ball of your foot, your heel out, stepping forward. Your hands come up and you're going to go forward over the left foot, which is the forward stepping foot. So here we go. Forward and back over the right shoulder. And just starting to look for a gentle sense of engagement somewhere at the back of the heels of your palms. And then you can just start looking back through your body, like what happens with your feet and the weight transfer. How much are you getting that arching and flattening? We'll come around one more time. And let your toe come up, lower back flatten, and in you come to a rest. All right, now sinking into your left foot, right foot turns out, comes forward. And now we go over the forward foot, the right foot. 1. And fully flat on your front foot, fully flat on your back foot. Toe up on the front foot a bit. heel up on the back foot. Straighten at the knee in the front foot. Straighten at the knee in the back foot. And just feel the space you take up as you go through here. We'll come back around. I'm going to give you one more time to go through this, just so that we really have a chance to get a last feel of it. And then as you come back, your toe is coming up in the forefoot, which is the beginning of your notice to yourself to really make sure of that flattened lower back. And in you come to your resting position. Now the variation, sinking into the right foot, left foot comes forward. So I gather over with the ball. 1, 2. You can see as I gather here, and then as I come back, I'm just trailing my fingers, very similar to the first platter. So this is the only part where there's a difference of gathering that ball over front of the shoulder that's going to be the leading foot shoulder, in this case the left one. We'll do 2 more. And here we come around the last time, and back fully on the back foot, front toe comes up. And then we get ready for the next side. So now sinking into the left foot, right foot turns out and forward, hands come up, and then gathering over top of the right shoulder, forward. If you find that the movements, as gentle as they are starting to flush out places where you notice tensions or even discomforts, use the movement to gently nudge into the edges of those tensions, those discomforts. If you just feel into the edges of them, they'll gradually have a chance to reorganize. But give them room to breathe that relationship. You're at a place of a changing relationship between parts of you that are able to move with this and parts of you that have the habits that don't quite know how to do this and perhaps sometimes are locked because of injury. I'm going to go around one more time. And so just be very gentle at the edges of those, and they will gradually reorganize. And here we come back. And then we go into our first bass drum. So sinking into the right foot, left foot comes forward, fingers come up, down toward the floor with the fingers, finding that engagement between your hands. And anytime you find your mind starts to wander, then there are so many things that you can bring your attention back to. How do I know how my feet are coming across the floor? What's the movement of my pelvis? Even though there is no direction on breathing, your breathing should be free to move with this. Am I holding my breath, stopping it in some way? And just really start to kind of feel how this can be a center of your movement, supported by that rocking back and forth on the balls of your feet. We'll come around one more time. and full weight on the back foot, front toe comes up, and resting position. And then the opposite side. Right foot comes forward. And you may find with the drum hands that sometimes for a period of time your hands are apart or closer than mine. And the important part for you is to feel as if you can find the engagement. And so wherever that is, start with that. And then you may find that after a while it wants to adjust because there's some evolution of your sense of connection. But the sense of connection should be your starting place. And we'll do 2 more after this. And here comes the final one, number 9. And toe up and back. So now we come into the 2 daughters. So the first one, your palms just turn out right beside you like this, sinking as usual into your right foot, left foot comes forward. And then left hand on the inside, 1. And you can see how my upper arms just stay pretty relaxed close to my side, not tucked in, but they're not coming out. It's not big movements like that. It's very much working through the forearms and the elbows and the wrists. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see this a little bit from this direction. Flattening in my lower back. Arching. We'll call this 7. That's it. And then as I come back to the last one, I'm going to be flattening in my lower back and my hands are going to be coming around and I come to my resting position. All right, second side. Opening of hands forward and left hand on the inside still. These become so lovely and graceful after a while. And just to see how much you can just let the feel of what wants to move, what's been awakened in bodies over the thousands of years that these approaches have been developed. That you follow the wisdom of what people have worked with and awakened over this time to realize that somewhere in here are the archetypal templates of human movement and that they reorganize us back towards some central way of being, not just in our body, but kind of how we find ourselves in the world, so that they end up quieting our mind as well. One more time we'll come around. And back on the back foot, toe comes up. And dropping. And then we do the daughter in the valley. So once again, into the right foot, left foot turns out at the ball of the foot, hands at your ready position, and forward we go, gathering and releasing. If you were doing it fast and you were doing it with water, you'd be doing something like this, like that, right? It's kind of like that energetic version of just releasing, and then gathering gradually as you come around again. And if you ever have problems with your knees, I'm going to do just a couple more because I really want you to get a reminder of this, that as you come forward, you see how, if you look down, I'm going to go back a bit so you can really see this. I know some of you get cut off on your screens. That as you come forward, you can see my knee never goes ahead of my toe, right? And that will really keep some integrity, so that even if there's a bit of an achiness or working, it will have a tendency to slowly reorganize and help your knees. But of course, as soon as you feel a pain, like, don't go that far forward then, like go a little less until you find the right place, and then we'll just come and step in. Just the place where, as I was saying before, you find that kind of edge, on the edge of where things start to feel dysfunctional, and just gently, with some compassion, meet up against the edges of those places. And they will respond gradually. So then the opposite side. Down and gather. And you'll also find that there's more of a tendency for there to be a forward-back alignment in your leg, inside-outside alignment in your leg. So for example, you may find initially that there's this tendency for your knee to fall in a little bit, maybe more on one side than the other on that forward leg. And that gradually, if you just check down every once in a while and make sure that your knee is coming in the middle of your leg, that tendency to fall inward on that leg will gradually also self-correct itself. And around, and we'll call this the closing place. And then finally we come to our first sideways stepping, which on my theme of knees is also a really wonderful way of starting to work at little rotations in your knee joints that really help the whole organization of ligaments and irrigating the menisci in a much more intelligent way, the meniscus around the knees. So here comes your wind up, your hands in front of the right shoulder as you sink into that right foot. Step out, just gently sideways, not too big, with your left foot, and across. Both feet stay solidly on the ground. Sometimes there's this tendency to lift the outside of the foot as you come across, but just keep that outside line of your leg really giving a chance to lengthen. And here comes the third time. So now that right toe is going to come up, foot steps in on the right side, resting position, and again, sinking into the right. Left foot comes out. So that there's a real sense of anchoring between the feet on both sides, even though, of course, there is a weight transfer that happens. Here we come for the third time. Lifting of that right toe, and in it comes. And one more time. Sinking, stepping out with the left. And the third time across, right toe comes up as your hand comes up in front of the left shoulder and in. And now right back the other direction, front of the left shoulder, winding up as you come across to the right. These are the places where our cerebral cortex can start trying to think the movement through, and we can start going, okay, which direction was I supposed to go? And just keep on getting little images or mnemonics that, here we go with our third time, that will kind of get you, like for example, the golf wind up or that kind of thing, just to kind of let your body remember what this is about. It will remember if you can just let go of the hold of your logical mind on trying to figure it out and not listening to what the body already knows. And here we come for the third time. toe up, foot in, and sink over the left shoulder, right foot out. And one more time. And toe up and in. And you may find that initially, like especially with the sideways motions as you come up, that you're kind of falling like maybe in on your arch or those kind of things. And gradually you'll find how to get the alignment more fully on your foot so that it really supports you there as your other foot comes up and inward. And that's part of kind of the learning of this kind of gently reorganizing you that happens. So now we've gone through all the movements that we're going to do today. We've finished with the carry the ball to the side, which is what that was called. And then we go to just a shortish period of time with our final integration movement, the cosmic consciousness pose. So left heel comes up, foot turns outward, leg turns outward a little bit, so you can rest the heel on the inside right ankle bone. Sink just a little bit into it, like so. Hands come up with, once again, the left hand, slightly relaxed fingers on the inside and the right hand on the outside. And then once you've got that sense of how your arms are going to sit in front of you, not too high, but just kind of somewhere just around your chin level or thereabouts. And then just looking downward through those slightly parted fingers, so that you get a bit of a sense of not just a chin dropping, but of a little bit of a lengthening through your lower back. And then your noticing goes down into your lower abdomen, into that Danchen area, so that you just have a chance to feel from floor and the way that your feet come in contact with the floor and the connection through your legs to your pelvis, and just that sense of slightly finding the stool under your pelvis, and then the lengthening up your back, up into the back of your neck, the slightly dropped chin, eyes looking slightly down, and the awareness into the Danchen. And then just coming out of that to your resting position, and then just bowing to kind of go, yeah, this isn't all about me, this is something which is really coming from somewhere greater than, to that awakening, deeper knowing within myself and the universe, reconnecting with each other.